Hello friends, it's good to see you again. I am back in my studio after taking a little bit of a break this week. I really didn't work on any big projects or finish any big projects. It's just been so hot. Is it hot where you are? It's so hot here. And I have just not done as much as I usually do. Now, you may notice that I have a little bit of a lisp. And that's because I have aligners, which is kind of the new kind of braces that people have these days. And I really like them. I decided this a few months ago. I had braces as a teenager, but over the years, my bottom teeth have really started to crowd in the front. You've probably noticed this on my videos. One of them is sticking up and one of them is sticking out. And I was starting to have nerve pain in my gum. My top teeth were also starting to get crooked, but my bottom teeth were worse. And so I went to see an orthodontist who was recommended to me, and the long and short of it is that now I have aligners for the next, I have 20 sets. I think it's about a year and a half to 2 years. And to me, it's worth it to keep me from losing these teeth eventually, which can happen when you get much older. You can have decay and cavities and nerve damage. And I want to have healthy teeth again since I'm only in my early 60s. So that's the first thing that happened. Right now, I am just knitting a little dishcloth. I've been knitting a good many of these. I think this is the fifth one. And I do this in the evenings when we're watching TV. And they sell at the farmer's market. Not every week. They'll be sitting there for weeks, and then all of a sudden some lady will come up and say, "Oh, I love these dishcloths," and she'll buy 4 of them. And so I kind of need to have a little bit of a stockpile if I can, for when that lady comes along, whoever she may be. The other thing that I've been doing still is spinning, and I really love this spinning this yellow fiber. It's Finn, Finn. I bought it from a local store. It was already clean, and it was processed to kind of a loose roving, so it's pretty easy to draft out. I don't have to card it and anything like that. I just dyed it with dandelion, and now I'm spinning it up to have more of this yellow, to process with more of the orange, to have more of that same yarn that I've made recently. Another thing that I did that may be a little shocking to you, if you remember several years ago, I made a skirt out of the scraps that my friend gives me from her sewing. And it was a big flowy skirt, and I kind of played it by ear, and I didn't follow a pattern, and I never got the waistband to really fit very well, and because it was so much fabric, it was actually rather warm and kind of cumbersome. And the fact of the matter is, I've been cleaning out my closet, and I realized that was a skirt I just wasn't wearing. So I thought it might be put to a better use. I only probably wore it 3 times. So I washed it again, and now I'm cutting it up, and I'm going to turn it into some other projects. It's a lot of fabric. The strips are already sewn together, and so it'll be easy to chop it up into squares or whatever. I could turn it into a quilt. I could turn it into a lot of project bags, which I would love to do, because these kind of strips are super cute in a project bag. There's a lot of things I could do with it, make some more purses, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut up. I've already taken the waistband off, and now I'll cut out some of the other seams that go around the skirt, and we'll have nice big pieces to work with. I've also started pressing some flowers and making some cards with pressed flowers. Here's a few. Flowers I noticed in the yard are monkey grass flowers. And so I did snip a few of those and cut their stems off, and now I'm pressing some more, and we'll see how they do. They really need to press and dry before I use them. They're kind of bumpy, but they make a really pretty card. I press them underneath the heaviest books I've got. That's my Oxford Shorter OED and a big old encyclopedia of herbs. So here I've got them inside some wax paper, and they're still pretty bumpy, but they're so pretty on the card. I do not currently have a pair of wool socks on my needles to knit, but I plan on starting another pair this fall and kind of working through that over the winter. I love the most recent pair that I knitted. I think they're my favorite ones yet, and I have worn them a lot around the house. They just keep your feet so dry and comfortable. I love that, even in the hottest days of summer when your air conditioning is trying to keep up. So I do have in my little project bag for my socks, I do have my next color picked out, my next wool picked out for my next pair of socks. So I'll let you know when I start doing that. Anyway, short little video this week, little catch up with you. I have been doing more reading. I went to see the Odyssey movie, and that kind of reminded me how much I miss reading. So I've started reading the Odyssey. I read the book Becoming Mrs. Lewis. I like that a lot. I read Theo of Golden. Wasn't as wild about that as most people were. I don't know. I have an odd taste in books, but I might really start trying to get off of watching YouTube videos so much, which are very enjoyable. I watch what I think are very good quality ones, very relaxing renovation channels and people who live in Scotland in big country houses, things like that. But I am missing the mental quiet of sitting and reading a book in a quiet room. There's something about that rather than having people from the outside world filling your room and filling your mind during the day. There's something really quiet about being by yourself with a book. That's a little different. So I think I'll be doing more reading soon. Well, I am doing it now, and I'll be reading more into the fall and winter too. So the sad thing about these aligners is that you have to take them out when you're drinking or eating anything except water. So if I want to have a cup of tea, I have to pop them out. And they're tight enough at the bottom one, especially where my teeth are more crooked, is really hard to pop out. I have to use that little tool to do that. And so it's just a pain. If you want to have a cup of hot tea, you got to pop them out and put them back in, keep track of them. I try to put them always in their case when I'm not wearing them. So that's a little bit more trouble. Maybe it'll keep me from snacking so much. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, I know I shared with you that I was walking every morning. And I'm still walking, but I'm not walking every morning because in addition to walking, I added swimming to my exercise routine. Now, this is pretty hilarious. For those of you who know me in real life, you know that I am anything but an exerciser. I've never exercised. I really don't like sports, especially to do them. I don't mind watching football once a year or something, but I am not athletic and I do not like being athletic. I grew to not mind walking in the morning as long as I was on my little path that you've seen in the field. But I do love the water, so I got a YMCA membership. I have to drive a half hour to get there and a half hour back, and I do that 3 times a week. But it is slowly making a difference. I'm getting more muscle tone. I don't know that I'm losing any weight, but I don't know that that's the point. I really want to be healthier, and I want to get my A1C down. And my husband tells me if I do exercise regularly, that the exercise will consume, I guess that's the right word, the sugar that's in my blood sugar. That's where it's going to get the sugar from to do the exercise. And so it should help my blood sugar next time I go to the doctor. So we'll see what the doctor says about it. But I am thoroughly enjoying being in the water. It is one of the most peaceful things for me to do. I'm not a swimmer, but I do just swim laps. I do granny laps, if you know what I mean. You know, doing your arms out, fluttering your feet, going on your back and putting your arms over. I have to be careful of my shoulder. So I look like a grandma in the water, but I don't care. But it has been good for me. So if you're thinking about exercise, don't put it off. Even a little bit of exercise, even just walking every morning is really beneficial. Your doctor will tell you this, and it is true. If some of you are like me, you do struggle to get stuff done in the summer. And that's part of my problem this past week. It wasn't just that it's hot outside. It's really something a little more significant called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Some of y'all would have heard of that. Usually, people with this, though, this condition, it's kind of a seasonal change in mood, okay? And they usually are more depressed in the wintertime when it's dark and cold, and they're happy in the summertime. But there are many of us who are the opposite. And my daughter and I both are like this. We get pretty depressed in the summertime, and I get probably significantly more depressed in the summertime than any other time of year. And the longer it goes on with all the daylight and all of the heat and all of the social pressure to do stuff in the summer, and to be happy in the summer, it just weighs down on me. And by the end of the summer, I'm just desperate for a reprieve. That's why I talk about hibernating in the summertime, which is what I do. But I really do perk up in the fall. That's why I love autumn so much. That's why I love all the crafts of autumn and the colors of autumn and the activities of autumn, because I'm starting to feel better. And so I'm just happier. And then I'm very happy. I always thought I loved Christmas, but actually I think what I love is winter, and even early spring. It's really not until July that the effects of the SAD tend to really start to get to me. So July, particularly August, toward the end of August, it's very difficult. Even September is still pretty warm. The days are very long. It's very hot outside. It's not really until October, yes, that I start to feel a lot better. So I thought I would mention that in case any of you struggle with the same thing. Know that you're not alone. And just try to, don't put pressure on yourself. Like this week, I didn't apply pressure to myself. I did what I had to do, but I didn't feel these obligations to be very crafty and creative and happy, when actually I'm just kind of surviving. So I hope that's helpful to you. It's been nice to chat with you again, and I'll see you again hopefully next week. Bye bye.